I had never met Pamela before.
I heard.
We met on set, and we discovered we had a lovely...
You want it to be real, don't you? These are two immensely charismatic people who are also incredibly kind.
Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson. No one saw this coming. But when two of Hollywood's most unexpected stars started getting a little too close on the red carpet, fans couldn't help but wonder, is this just promotion for a movie or the beginning of a secret romance that's been hiding in plain sight? In the strange universe of Hollywood, unlikely couples aren't exactly rare. But every so often, a pairing comes along that genuinely stops people in their tracks. The kind that feels so out of the blue, it almost doesn't make sense. Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson, that's not just unexpected. That's the kind of headline you have to read twice. Pamela is no stranger to the spotlight.
I am so excited today to bring you our very first 90s edition lookbook with this incredible...
From her days as the poster girl of Baywatch to her turbulent, tabloid-fueled relationships, she's lived her life in high definition. She's been married 5 times, caught in chaotic love stories that unfolded in front of the world like reality TV before reality TV even existed. Her image, sexy, wild, untamed, was always larger than life. But behind it, there's also been heartbreak, reinvention, and a woman who's never stopped trying to take back her own story. Liam Neeson, he's a different story altogether. Stoic, private, reserved.
Dinner with friends. Now I just need some friends. I don't know if Mary-Kate and Ashley would approve, but I'm wearing it.
His fame doesn't come from scandal. It comes from powerfully emotional roles in films like Schindler's List and the relentless grit of Taken. He's the grieving widower, the relentless father, the tragic hero. He's carried himself through Hollywood like a man who would rather be anywhere else. A sharp contrast to Pamela's camera-ready, crowd-loving persona. His love life. Since the tragic passing of his wife, Natasha Richardson, in 2009 has remained quiet, respectful, almost invisible. So how do these two opposites suddenly end up wrapped in red carpet whispers, caught in intimate glances and coy smiles?
I didn't have much hope for this movie. Let's talk about The Naked Gun. I'm going to be honest, I've never watched the original The Naked Gun film series.
That's what fans everywhere are still trying to figure out. Because this isn't your typical Hollywood it couple. There's no flashy announcement, no joint interview declaring their love, just a slow trickle of photos, body language, and unscripted moments that feel real. And that's what makes this pairing so fascinating. The contrast is magnetic. A man known for emotional depth and reserved elegance, linked to a woman who's spent decades surviving and redefining life under a spotlight. It's oil and water, fire and ice, and yet somehow it just works. Maybe it started as a publicity thing. Maybe it was nothing more than chemistry on camera.
Wow, actually a decent comedy. So Naked Gun is the reboot/legacy.
But if you look closer, if you really pay attention to the moments between the lines, there's something else there. A softness, a comfort, a genuine spark that can't be manufactured, no matter how good the PR team is. Still, all anyone could do was speculate until things started heating up in public. The shift from co-stars to something more didn't happen in a tabloid or a tweet. It happened in front of dozens of cameras, but somehow felt like a private moment. On July 22nd, the London premiere of The Naked Gun brought out the flashbulbs, the press, and the polished smiles you'd expect from a high-profile film launch.
The Naked Gun arrives in cinemas August 1st, and it's not just hilarious, but importantly so. Comedies of this scale
But there, among the noise, Pamela and Liam stole the spotlight. And not just because of their star power. Pamela stepped onto the carpet in true Hollywood form, confident and radiant. Liam stood beside her, calm and collected, as always. But when they posed together for photos, the energy between them changed the tone of the entire event. Pamela gently placed her hand on Liam's chest, not casually, but like she belonged there, and leaned in to press a kiss to his cheek. It was subtle, tender, unscripted. And in that tiny gesture, the world stopped seeing them as actors promoting a movie and started seeing them as something more.
Windy and drizzly. Had to walking to the cinema.
The photo went viral within hours. Headlines exploded across celebrity blogs and entertainment outlets. Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson spark romance rumors, and the internet had questions. Was this a publicity stunt? A flirtatious moment blown out of proportion? Or the first glimpse into a secret romance hiding in plain sight? And the moment wasn't isolated. Throughout the rest of the premiere, they stayed close. Their glances lingered. Their body language told a story no publicist had prepared. Even Liam, famously reserved during press events, seemed visibly relaxed around Pamela, smiling more than usual, joking with interviewers, and letting his guard down in a way longtime fans hadn't seen in years.
Look out, crime, he's fully armed. Let's talk about The Naked Gun. With this, it is a legacy sequel to the Naked Gun franchise.
For someone who spent much of the last decade dodging dating rumors and grieving the quiet loss of his wife, this was a different Liam. He looked happy. Not Hollywood happy. Actually happy. The kind of quiet joy that's hard to fake and even harder to hide. Of course, there's always the possibility it was all clever promotion. The Naked Gun is, after all, a comedy built on chemistry. But this didn't feel like just chemistry for the cameras. It felt real, and fans noticed. But just as the speculation began to calm down, Pamela poured gasoline on the fire with a single Instagram post that changed everything.
We were talking before we started rolling camera.
Yeah.
You were discovered?
Yes.
Like in the true sense of the word.
If the red carpet chemistry had people guessing, Pamela's next move made things even harder to ignore. Just days after the London premiere, she posted a carousel of photos on Instagram that seemed innocent at first. Behind-the-scenes shots from the press tour, goofy smiles, and a few candid moments with Liam that felt unusually cozy. The caption, "Classic Pamela, The Naked Gun is finally in theaters. Bring your friends, family, lovers, whoever, just go and have a laugh. It's good for you. I'll see you there." It was playful, flirty, but buried in the comments was something far more revealing. Not from a fan, not from a journalist, but from someone intimately connected to Liam's past.
Another thing that I am very excited about, my dear friend Akiva Schaffer directed a new Naked Gun film starring you and Liam.
Jolie Richardson, the younger sister of Liam's late wife, Natasha, quietly dropped a row of red heart emojis under the post. No explanation, no clarification, just that. But anyone who's followed Liam's story knows how significant that small gesture really was. For 15 years, Liam was married to Natasha Richardson, a beloved actress and part of the legendary Redgrave acting family. Her tragic passing in a 2009 ski accident devastated him, and by all accounts, he never truly moved on. He rarely spoke of dating. He kept his private life locked away,
Absolutely
which made
beautiful
Jolie's
script
public show of
of an
support
extraordinary.
What? Oh! Yeah!
profound. To fans, it felt like a quiet blessing, a green light. If Natasha's own sister, someone who had lived through the heartbreak of that loss, was offering up digital approval, maybe this connection between Liam and Pamela wasn't just media noise. Maybe it was something genuine, something new. The comments on Pamela's post exploded. Fans were reading between the lines, speculating in real time, trying to piece together the puzzle. Was Jolie in the loop? Had she met Pamela already? Was this more than just co-stars promoting a film? Was this a relationship with roots? And while Liam and Pamela stayed publicly silent, their social media activity said plenty.
Being a working mom and being in this entertainment world and even having your mom.
No denial, no attempt to downplay the rumors, just smiles, chemistry, and a quiet signal from the past that maybe, just maybe, it was okay for Liam to move forward. For all the speculation brewing online, it was what wasn't being said that kept fans hooked. Liam and Pamela never officially addressed the rumors, but they didn't need to. Their body language spoke volumes. And when the pair reunited just days later at the New York premiere of The Naked Gun, it was clear something had shifted. No longer just a red carpet coincidence, their closeness now felt familiar, comfortable. They stood side by side, laughing between interviews.
Are you two an item?
Craig.
What?
Craig.
I don't understand the question.
Exchanging glances like two people who were in on a secret no one else knew. But it was during their joint interview with E! News that the chemistry between them officially hit a new level. When asked what surprised them most about working together, Pamela turned to Liam with a smile and said, "Just how kind and sweet and funny you are." Her voice softened as she said it, almost like she forgot the cameras were even rolling. And Liam, he didn't hesitate. "Pam's very silly too," he said with a grin. "She's a great woman." There was no wink, no cheeky smirk, just warmth, sincerity. And in that moment, the tone of the conversation changed completely. These weren't two actors trading compliments.
I was super shy when I was younger. I know no one likes to believe that, but I was paralyzed with shyness. And I think that is because
This felt like two people who had gotten to know each other on a deeper level. People don't speak that way about casual coworkers. Not in this business. Behind the scenes, insiders from the film's crew later hinted that their bond had been building for months. One anonymous source reportedly claimed that Liam and Pamela spent long hours talking between takes, often skipping the usual celebrity, entourage, drama, and choosing to hang out together instead. They'd disappear into quiet corners of the set, share inside jokes, and always seemed to be more relaxed in each other's presence than with anyone else around. And that connection seemed to carry over into every public appearance.
Do you know about Liam Neeson's dating history? His wife died unexpectedly. Back in the early 1980s, Neeson dated...
Their energy wasn't just professional, it was personal. They moved like people who had already built trust, a rhythm, a shorthand. It's that kind of subtle, behind-the-scenes chemistry that doesn't always show up on camera. But when it does, it's impossible to fake. Still, some skeptics chalked it all up to clever press tactics. After all, The Naked Gun relies heavily on comedic timing and believable on-screen chemistry. Could it really just be great acting? That question would get even harder to answer when one reporter decided to press them directly on live television. Up until this point, Pamela and Liam had managed to dance around the headlines, letting their actions speak louder than words.
About this film, though, perhaps you've heard, there are a lot of folks on the internet who are talking about this budding love story.
But when the two appeared together on the Today Show on July 29th, the soft, teasing, and subtle glances finally collided with a question they could no longer avoid. Craig Melvin, one of the show's anchors, didn't waste any time. He looked the pair straight in the eye and asked what everyone had been dying to know. "So, what's the deal here?" Then he leaned in slightly, grinning like someone trying to pull the truth out of two people clearly holding it back. "You're both single right now. There's clearly chemistry on display throughout this film. Are you two an item?" For a second, there was silence. Pamela laughed. Not the fake kind, but the kind people do when they've been caught off guard.
Lovely to see you again. Congratulations on this film.
Liam raised his eyebrows, looked over at her, and smiled. "We're just having fun," Pamela finally said, brushing off the question with the kind of charm she's perfected over decades in the spotlight. Liam, ever the gentleman, nodded and added, "It's been a joy working together. She's a breath of fresh air. It wasn't a yes, but it definitely wasn't a no. What followed was a flurry of internet debate. Some fans were convinced they were being coy on purpose, protecting something real from the circus of public opinion. Others argued it was all part of the performance, another layer to the movie's press machine. But that tension, that refusal to clarify, only made things more fascinating.
No wonder Liam Neeson has decided to never date again. His wife has 3 great qualities that no one can match. Number 1,
Because this wasn't a couple rushing to announce their status. There was no red carpet kiss for the cameras, no viral TikTok reveal. Just 2 people clearly comfortable with each other, refusing to give the audience what it wanted, and somehow making them want it more. It was the kind of moment that doesn't give you answers. It gives you more questions. And as speculation swirled, a deeper question began to take shape. One that had less to do with headlines and more to do with healing. Could this really be Liam Neeson's first step into love again, after years of grief? To understand why this possible romance with Pamela Anderson hit such a nerve with fans,
It's very interesting that both Liam Neeson and Lindsay Lohan have movies coming out this month. Because if you didn't know,
you have to go back to the heartbreak that defined Liam Neeson's life off-screen. In 2009, Liam lost the love of his life, Natasha Richardson, in a tragic ski accident that sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. One moment, they were on vacation with their family. The next, she was gone. A head injury that initially seemed minor turned fatal within hours. Liam rushed to her side, only to be told there was no hope. He later revealed that he made the impossible decision to take her off life support. Choice that, to this day,
I'm Pamela Anderson, and this is Harper's Bazaar UK, and I'm going to talk about a few life lessons.
he calls the most devastating moment of his life. The two had been married for 15 years, and by every account, they were inseparable. Natasha wasn't just his partner in public, she was his anchor in private. After her death, Liam threw himself into work. He took role after role, often in emotionally intense or action-heavy films, perhaps as a way to stay busy, to avoid the silence waiting for him at home. Over the years, rumors would occasionally surface about him dating again, but none ever stuck. And truthfully, they never felt right. There was always a sadness behind his eyes, a heaviness in his presence, the kind that doesn't fade easily.
You guys really aren't ready for this one. Have you seen Pamela Anderson in 2025? This is her from 1992 to 2025.
Which is why this moment, this sudden, surprising connection with someone like Pamela Anderson feels so significant. Because Pamela, despite her chaotic public image, has also known heartbreak. She's lived through toxic relationships, public humiliation, and a media machine that never gave her a break. But through it all, she kept getting back up, reinventing herself, trying again. Maybe that's part of what drew them together. Two people the world thought they had figured out, quietly discovering something real in each other. Liam doesn't look like a man chasing attention. He looks like someone who's finally letting go, letting himself feel something new, and maybe even for the first time in years.
I was told she was brain dead. I'm seeing this X-ray. It was like, wow. Yeah.
Letting himself be happy. Of course, in Hollywood, nothing is guaranteed. But this felt different. This wasn't tabloid fodder or a PR stunt. It felt like a possible new beginning, one born not out of convenience, but out of timing, understanding, and maybe even healing. But if Liam was finding something real in Pamela, what was she searching for in him? For most of her life, Pamela Anderson has been defined by image. The curves, the headlines, the red swimsuit. But behind the pop culture persona is a woman who spent decades searching for something far more elusive than fame. Stability. Love. A sense of peace that never quite stuck,
You know what really gets me about this?
Just one for me, sir. You can personalize it to me.
Her romantic history reads like a roller coaster, intense highs, public meltdowns, and heartbreaks that played out in real time under the glare of the media. From her volatile marriage to Tommy Lee, to a string of rushed relationships, to a 12-day marriage that ended almost as quickly as it began, Pamela's love life has often been treated like a punchline. But to her, it was never a game. She wasn't chasing attention. She was chasing connection again and again, even when it broke her. And yet, through all of it, Pamela kept reinventing herself. Behind the headlines, she raised 2 sons.
You know, this is the weekend that the Naked Gun reboot movie. If you love the old movies and this is slap.
Took a step back from Hollywood, moved to a quiet home in British Columbia, and, for once, prioritized herself. She published a memoir, starred in a raw, no-makeup Netflix documentary, and showed the world a very different version of Pamela Anderson. Vulnerable, thoughtful, and determined to finally take control of her own story. So when she was cast in The Naked Gun, a wild comedy reboot that put her back in the spotlight, no one expected her to also step into what could become the most unexpected love story of her life. With Liam, everything feels different. There's no chaos, no headline-making blow-ups, just softness, respect. A man with his own battle scars who isn't interested in using her.
I don't know why I have a G-string in my purse, but don't tell me that you don't have a scrunchie.
Fixing her or turning her into a spectacle. And that's what fans have latched on to. Because for the first time in a long time, Pamela seems truly at ease. The way she smiles next to Liam, the way she talks about him, calling him kind, funny, silly. There's a glow there, not the kind that comes from makeup or fame, the kind that comes from finally being seen. For someone who's been the punchline for decades, that kind of connection can feel like redemption. And maybe that's what's really at the heart of this unlikely pairing. 2 people, long underestimated, quietly finding comfort in each other. Not perfect, not polished, but possibly real.
My first audition was Naked Gun.
Really?
Yeah. It just kind of happened, so I didn't have to lie. Even though they did think.
Still, one question lingers in the minds of fans and skeptics alike. Is this true connection, or just one of Hollywood's greatest performances? As the weeks passed and the red carpets faded, one thing became crystal clear. This wasn't a story that was going away. The public couldn't stop watching. The press couldn't stop asking. And Pamela and Liam, they still weren't offering answers. The speculation only grew louder. Some fans are rooting for them, calling it the most unexpected second chance romance Hollywood has seen in years. Others remain skeptical, convinced it's just clever publicity. A well-crafted illusion, timed perfectly.
So you want to tell the story of being discovered? Yeah. I was discovered in kind of a strange way. I was in Vancouver.
With the release of The Naked Gun. After all, the entertainment industry is no stranger to fabricated relationships designed to boost ticket sales, ignite headlines, and spark online chatter. But if this was just a stunt, it's one of the most convincing ones in recent memory. Because what we've seen, the quiet intimacy, the mutual respect, the natural way they interact when the cameras are supposedly off, doesn't look rehearsed. It looks lived in, familiar, honest. Still, there's a risk in saying too much. Hollywood relationships, especially ones that start in the spotlight, tend to burn fast and bright.
He went back to work just days after Natasha's funeral, and he's worked nearly non-stop ever since.
I'm not good.
And with both Liam and Pamela being no strangers to the harsh glare of media attention, maybe the silence is deliberate. Maybe they've decided that whatever this is, real or not, it's something they want to protect. As of now, they continue to appear together at select events, still smiling, still dodging questions with practiced grace. No confirmation, no denial, just enough fuel to keep the fire going. And that mystery, that's part of what keeps people watching. In a world addicted to oversharing and instant answers, Liam and Pamela are doing the opposite, letting curiosity do the work. Letting the world wonder if
The Naked Gun is the type of movie that was so well written and it had such a great economy with humor that it
behind the flashbulbs and red carpets, a real love story might actually be unfolding. Because when two people with nothing to prove and everything to lose suddenly start showing up for each other, that's when things get interesting. And no matter how it ends, whether it's a passing phase, a publicity masterstroke, or something far more lasting, one thing is certain. This story isn't finished yet. In a city where everything feels staged, where love stories are often written by publicists instead of hearts, the rumored romance between Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson stands out. Not because it's flashy, but because it's quiet, unexpected.
Just meeting you was the best part. This is just really, like I said, we had a wonderful natural chemistry and
human, two people from completely different worlds, one shaped by chaos, the other by grief, and yet somehow drawn to the same place at the same time, sharing smiles, private moments, and maybe something deeper than either of them expected. Maybe it's nothing, maybe it's everything. That's the thing about love in Hollywood, you rarely see it coming and you never know how long it'll last. But sometimes the best stories aren't the ones that shout. They're the ones that unfold slowly without explanation, behind glances and silences and all the things that never get said. So, is it real? Is it just for show? Only they know for sure. But in a world obsessed with answers, maybe this is one story that's better left a mystery.